Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football. Today we're doing a bit of the Carabao Cup. We're doing a couple of the games of the Carabao Cup. I was trying to do some of the Champions League, but I kept getting copyright struck, so I'm going to stick to the Premier League and try to get a couple of the Cup games in and see what I can do. This is where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League and the Cup games in the Champions League. Use my over 20 plus years of coaching experience to break down stuff so you can see some stuff that you might not normally see, and hopefully you can change that to being a better player, being a better coach, or maybe you just want to learn coaching. So right now we're going to look at Man United versus Newcastle. Right, so obviously United are on the attack. Here's a wee man, he's got the football here. Let's just move this on so we can see what's going on. Bosh, and he loses the ball. Okay, you can see there he's poked the ball, but you can also see that this guy has gone on an overlap, right? Why? There's no indication that he needs to be going on an overlap right now because there's a 1v1 duel here, right? So if he beats that player, he wants to run into that space, okay? Well, because otherwise, why is he trying to beat him? As soon as this overlap happens, he can't run into that space because there's two players then running into the same place. So everyone goes, oh yeah, this guy's lost the ball. But he has. But he's also lost the ball because this guy doesn't have a bloody clue what he's doing. Why are you overlapping? Why? You're going in. Well, he's trying to go into that space by beating this player. So why are you going in that space as well at the same time? Absolutely stupid. And we can see that here. Look, Dumpf. Corner of his eye is gone. Now there's two United players there for one football. Easy. Win that ball. It's a simple pass straight into here. And they don't do it. They're not really trying to fight, battle, win the ball there. And off they start going to the races. Now this is where the problem happens. All of a sudden this guy here can go in and tackle, but I think he's already on a yellow card actually in this game. I watched a little bit of it, and that completely changes his ability to be able to put in a tackle. So look, he can't really go tackle the guy because he can't really get close to him. But don't worry, we've got Mason Mount, who's £60 million midfielder right there to win a ball 1v1 with somebody running. Let's see what he's got in his locker to win the ball. What do we reckon? Absolutely nothing because he doesn't know how to play football. He stood still. So, if you're ever in this situation and a player's running at you, what you need to do is keep running with the player as long as you can. Because 9 times out of 10, the player will make a mistake. You've got to remember that. So the longer that you run with that player, the more chances of them making a mistake, and it's also you're not getting beaten. If you stand flat foot in the middle of the field like that, you're just going to get blown past. That's 1v1, 101 basics. If people are doing that on your Sunday league team, you're going to be embarrassed. But they're doing that in the Premier League, and this guy costs 60 million. He's awful, right? Goes straight past the kiddie. Now, here's the other problem. All of a sudden, because you don't really have, Casemiro is not a good enough defensive midfielder, and I don't care what anyone in the world says, Real Madrid do not sell quality world-class midfielders. They sell midfielders that are losing their legs and are past it. He had one good season in him. He did that last year. He's forever going to be on the downward spiral now. It's just unfortunate. It's called age. If you didn't know about age, it's something that happens to all of us when you think you can run really, really, really fast, and then you can't run really, really, really fast, but you still think you can, and then you pop your hamstring. If you haven't been there, you're not old enough. You soon will be. Right, so they basically don't have enough players to get around the field or do anything really, United. They're not an athletic team. So now this is a problem because I think this is Lindelof and Maguire. I'm not sure. But now we're in this flat-out foot race coming here. But you see how he squared his body up again? Do the same thing that Mason Mount does? It basically takes him out of the equation. It really does stop him here from what he's doing. And here's a run, and Maguire's got to go with him because they're so high up the field. Look, there's got so much space in behind here. Harry Maguire has to go with him. He's got to go with the player. He's got no choice. And of course, that opens up the other side of the field because everyone on the United team has pushed too far forward and they don't understand the first thing. When you're going forward, you need to understand what happens when we lose the ball. Do we have too many players advance to the ball? Is our midfield set? And if you go back and you look at the United midfield right here, as it goes past, you can see they're not set because there's absolutely nobody there. No one there to be able to come over and cover for the left back. Absolutely no one. So then we get the simple ball through here and it's just a quality finish. Dumpf. Dosh. Quality finish. Keeper, I think, could have done a little bit better, come out a little bit faster. As soon as all that first touch has happened, I reckon the keeper could have had it there. Right, as soon as this first touch goes in there, boys, bump. I reckon the keeper could have come out for it. Here we go, watch again, bump. Bump. There. Keeper could have come out, or at least made it a little bit more difficult. I do like the finish. It was pretty quality. But let's get on to the next goal that United are going to mess up. Okay, I want to point out, there's so many things to point out wrong here. Okay, you've got a cluster of players here. That's not too bad. But the problem is, you look at the distance between here. This central defender, I've got to try to clean these lines because I've got so much to draw. He needs to be about there. Okay, and then the next guy needs to be about there. and then it doesn't really matter because they're all in about the same sort of place, right? The separation of that gap actually needs to be a little bit closer, probably about there. The left back needs to be there. The left back, centre back, second centre back, because your right back's over here, and that gap's too much. And one of your midfielders has to be coming in to cover this space. You can't have these two going on the same ball here because you've created that massive gap there. Look how big that size of the gap is there, right? So the reason you're playing, look how much space that is. So the reason you're normally playing with one line and two lines is so things like this doesn't happen, and it has. Absolutely massive gap, right? So all they've got to do, and unfortunately they've got two players pressing the ball. Again, how many footballs are there? One. How many players need to win the ball? One. What does the other one do? Back up and cover the space. If he comes back and covers the space, it would make his mistake less obvious and his mistake less obvious. Or if he doesn't do it, he comes back and covers it. Neither of them do. That space is wide open, and one ball splits and breaks three players, completely taken out of the game. What you want to watch, though, is watch this guy here. Stops. Just absolutely stops. Couldn't care less what's going on now. Not interested in what's going on in a game of football. Look, just walking. Hand on his head. Doesn't really care. This guy's lost the ball. Not only has he lost it, he's got it back again inside the 18-yard box and managed to get across again over two players. Two players, let him go through him, over here, lose it, pick it back up, and then cross the ball. All of a sudden, it's not too bad because as bad as Harry Maguire is, he's actually in the right, decent spot here. I wouldn't want the keeper this close to the front post because he's already on the front post. The goalkeeper can take at least a one step back because the defender's there covering the front post, so he can afford to take one step, and that matters, by the way. One step. That's not bad. Okay, he's not bad. But this is where it gets interesting. They don't win second ball, and it just smashes straight into the corner. Awful. But have a look at what's his face here. This guy here has got no interest in what's really going on. No interest in the player behind him. He's constantly ball watching. Doesn't really care about anything else but watching the ball. Watching the ball. Doesn't look at his player. Doesn't care about marking. Look at them. All unmarked. 1, 2, 3. Everyone's watching the ball. Watching the ball. 1, 2, 3. Unmarked in the box. Ball comes out and he puts it into the corner. It's that simple. I'm not sure what Amrabat's trying to do here, trying to dribble through the midfield for some reason. I've got no idea. But he loses the ball straight away, and this is just embarrassing. Again, this is what I'm talking about. It's where is the rest of the team when you lose the ball? Right, so because he loses the ball there, you've got these two guys who are useless at the football. They aren't good enough and fast enough to come back and recover and win the ball back. How do we know that? Let's watch. He hasn't even started moving. He wasn't even smart enough to see that the tackle was happening and his feet weren't even going in the right direction. Now he starts to go, and look how far away he is. Now this is a Newcastle player that picks the ball up here, right? Little line, like that, sexy. And manages to walk down the middle of the field. Just walk down the middle of the field. No United player, doesn't come over and cut him off. Not interested. No one comes to cut him off. Not interested. No one's near him. Still not interested. He's actively running away from him instead of getting onto the ball. Still not interested. And he puts the ball in goal. How bad is that? Someone gets to run 25, 30 yards and just put the ball in the goal. They just run away from him. There's no one on the ball putting pressure on him. It's absolutely awful. If you do this in the Sunday League, you get yelled at. If you are the right back here and you don't keep tracking and running this guy, he just basically runs. I think it's a one bazooka again. Runs away from the guy. He runs off over here and goes, "Oh yeah, but I'm playing right back now, so I don't need to worry about the football because he's in the middle of the field and that's central midfield defenders and midfielders' problems. It's not right backs' problems. No, mate, it's right backs' problems. You're right there. Win the football. Doesn't do it." I think United are going to go on a bit of a downward spiral. They've got some easy games, but I just don't think that they can come out of this ditch that they're digging themselves in. And I'll speak to you next time on Cash Talks Football.